Invoking blessings of the Almighty and offering our pranams to Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Dignitaries, elders, brothers and sisters, Sai Ram Namaste and a very good morning. Welcome to the inaugural session of Bharath Sammelan 2026. We extend a warm welcome to all the esteemed guests seated on the dais. Dr. Padma Subramaniam ji, Director of Nrityodaya. Shri Anish P. Rajan, Director of Academies and Performing Arts Bureau at the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Srimati Nandini Ramani, Bharatnatyam exponent, dance critic, scholar and arts administrator. Shri Mahendra D, the Regional Director of the Indira Gandhi National Centre for the Arts. Dr. B. N. Narsamurthy, Chairman, Prashanti Balamandira Trust. Srimati Revati Ramachandran, Director of Nada Gurukulam. Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, Founder, One World, One Family Mission. We now request the dignitaries to kindly light the ceremonial lamp marking the inauguration of Bharath Sangeeta Sammelan, Kala Shrotaha. We will commence the program with Vedic invocation by the girl students of the university, and they will chant the Medha Suktam.
भद्रासु मनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीऋतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधाम इन्द्रो दधातु मेधान् देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विनावुभावा दत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवी मेधा सरस्वती सामा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषतागु स्वाहा आमा मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा रम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सा मां मेधा सुप्रतीगाजुषन्ता मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयीन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
Bharat Sangeet Sammelan 2026 is envisioned as a national forum celebrating India's rich and diverse performing arts heritage. This year's theme, Kala Shrotaha, reflects the unbroken flow of Indian classical traditions, where every generation has inherited, interpreted, enriched, and transmitted the arts without compromising their timeless foundational principles. It brings together Kala Sadhakas, legendary maestros, scholars, educators, researchers, and young seekers in a sacred confluence to deliberate on the deeper purpose of Indian artistic traditions. The conference aims to inspire a new generation of artists who are not merely accomplished performers, but enlightened practitioners, artists who recognize that the highest purpose of music and dance is not applause but awakening, not recognition but realization, not personal achievement but service to humanity. Inspired by the vision of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, the conference strives to affirm that the highest state of an artist is attained when the performer, the performance, and the art become one. This reflects the profound Advaitic truth expressed in the Upanishads that there is ultimately no separation between the knower, the knowledge, and the known. This conference reaffirms the Bharatiya understanding that music is not merely singing, it is Nadopasana. Dance is not merely movement, it is Nrityopasana. And art, when pursued with humility and devotion, becomes a powerful means of self-transformation and service to humanity. Through concerts, lecture demonstrations, panel discussions, interactions with distinguished practitioners, the conference aspires to preserve the sanctity of the Guru Shishya Parampara, promote meaningful scholarship, encourage artistic excellence, and inspire creativity rooted firmly in tradition. We now invite Srimati Revati Ramachandran to deliver the welcome address. Srimati Revati ji is a distinguished Bharatnatyam exponent with over 5 decades in the arts. Trained from the age of 8 by her guru Manguri Dorai Raj Iyer, Revati ji carries forward the mellow tradition of Bharatnatyam and its rare Shuddha Nrittam. She previously served as the director of Kala Kshetra, Chennai. She founded Kala Sadhanalaya in 1987, mentoring generations of dancers and creating several acclaimed thematic works. Currently, she serves as the director, Nada Gurukulam, the fine arts wing of Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, Muddenahalli. Srimati Revati ji, please.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Most respected and beloved Sadguru, Sri Madhusudan Sai Ji, with our humble pranams at your divine lotus feet, we seek your blessings as we commence Bharat Sangeeta Sammelan 2026, Kala Srotaha. It is with immense gratitude and profound joy that I welcome you, Swami, to the sacred celebration of India's timeless musical and artistic heritage, inspired entirely by your divine vision and grace. I extend a very warm and respectful welcome to our distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, Paduka, also dear to all of us, one of India's foremost dance scholars, visionary, choreographer, philosopher, and a cultural ambassador. I thank her and I welcome her for having accepted our request to be here and inaugurate the conference. Srimati Nandini Ramani, Nandini Akka, daughter of the most eminent scholar, Sri V. Raghavan, and she herself a very big performer and carrying the legacy of Bala Saraswati, an eminent scholar, a musician, and an author. I welcome you, Nandini Akka. Sri Anish P. Rajan, who serves as the director in the Ministry of Culture, the Performance Art Wing, and who has strengthened India's artistic tradition by putting in immense work at the ministry. During my Kalakshetra, I know how much of work he has done for the upliftment of art. And in spite of his very busy schedule, I thank Anish ji for being here with us and welcome him. Shri D. Mahendra ji, Regional Director of IGNCA, Bengaluru. I welcome you, sir. Very happy that you could be here, and they are participating also as the esteemed knowledge partner for this conference. Our revered Sri B.N. Narasimhamurthy, sir, whose lifelong dedication to values-based education and nation building continues to inspire generations, sir. I welcome you, sir. Distinguished artists, scholars, staff, students, brothers and sisters, on behalf of Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence and Nada Gurukulam, I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to one and all of you. The artistic traditions of Bharath are among the world's oldest living cultural inheritances, nurtured over millennia through the sacred Guru-Sishya Parampara. Unlike many artistic traditions that evolved primarily as aesthetic experiences and expressions, Indian music and dance have always been regarded as spiritual experiences and disciplines, a pathway to self-discovery, inner refinement, and ultimately God realization. Saint Tyagaraja asks, Sangeeta Jnanamu Bhakti Vina Sanmargamu Galade Manasa. What is the value of musical knowledge without devotion? Likewise, Sant Purandaradasa reminds us through Manava Janma Doddadu, that human birth itself is precious because it offers the opportunity to reach God and for God realization. Saint Tyagaraja, we all know, did not become immortal only because of his music alone. He became immortal because his music sprang from devotion. Saint Purandaradasa is remembered not merely as the father of Carnatic music, but because he transformed music into a vehicle for dharma, devotion, and social awakening. That legacy reminds us that the highest purpose of art is not excellence alone. It has to result in self-transformation. Our beloved Chancellor Sadhguru has envisioned that education must address every dimension of human personality, the intellectual, the emotional, the physical, the creative, the ethical, and the spiritual. And Indian arts uniquely accomplish this. It ascertains that excellence is not only for competition, but it should result in self-transformation. As Dr. Sai Lakshmi sister has already introduced what is the meaning of Kala Srotah and what we're going to be presenting, I want to just mention that Bharat Sangeet Sammelan marks the 4th edition of this prestigious national conference this year. This conference is featuring many scholars and stalwarts, who are all very, very difficult to get together. And we are very thankful to Swami for having made this possible with his blessings and his total encouragement. The conference aims to persuade new generation of artists who are not only accomplished performers, but are enlightened practitioners who recognize that music and dance is not only for applause, but it is for awakening. With these words, I once again extend a very hearty welcome to our revered Sadhguru, our distinguished dignitaries, scholars, staff, students, brothers and sisters, and request you to join us for 3 days of learning, imbibing, and thinking. As the eternal stream of Kalasrotha begins to flow, may each one of us become both a seeker and a custodian of this priceless heritage. May we learn from the Gurus, imbibe their values, contemplate their wisdom, and carry forward this sacred tradition with humility and devotion. Om Sri Sai Ram.
Thank you, ma'am. We are deeply honored by the presence of Srimati Nandini Ramani, an eminent Bharatanatyam exponent, distinguished academician, and the daughter of the renowned Sanskrit scholar and musicologist Dr. V. Raghavan. She is the recipient of several prestigious honors, including the Sangeet Natak Academy Award, for her outstanding contribution to the performing arts. We request Srimati Nandini ji to deliver the keynote address, please.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. Namaskaram. At the outset, I place my humble pranams at the feet of Sri Swamiji, and my namaskarams to all the eminent guests on the dais. Respected chief guest, distinguished scholars, revered gurus, eminent artists, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, staff and students, namaskarams to all of you. It is a proud privilege for me to address this august gathering on the inspiring theme, Rasashrotaha, the eternal stream of art. A stream is ever flowing. It gathers strength from its source, nourishes every life it touches, and it remains ever fresh. Such is the nature of rasa, the living current of aesthetic experience that has flowed through the Indian civilization from the Vedas to the present day. Art is eternal because it springs from what is eternal in the human being. Civilizations change, technologies evolve. Yet the human quest for beauty, meaning, harmony, and transcendence remain unchanged. It is this quest that gives art its immortality. Our tradition never regarded art merely as an entertainment or ornamentation. Art is a means of refining consciousness. Bharata Muni declares the Natya Shastra, there is no knowledge, no craft, no science, no art, no discipline, and no human endeavor that is not found in Natya. Natya is not merely performance. It is a complete expression of life itself. It embraces philosophy, ethics, music, poetry, architecture, movement, psychology, language, spirituality, and society. In Bharata's vision, art becomes the meeting ground of all human knowledge. The Natya Shastra further tells us why this art was created. Dukkharthanam shramarthanam shokarthanam tapasvinam vishranti jananam loke natyamedad bhavishyati. This art shall provide repose to those afflicted by sorrow, exhausted by labor, burdened by grief, and devoted to austerity. Notice the profound compassion embedded in this vision. Art heals, consoles, educates, and elevates. This understanding is perhaps more relevant today than ever before. Nearly 1,000 years earlier, the great philosopher Abhinava Gupta, in his celebrated commentary, Abhinava Bharati, explained that rasa is not merely an emotion portrayed on stage. It is an experience in which the individual transcends personal limitations and briefly tastes a universal joy. Art, therefore, does not imprison us within ourselves. It actually liberates us from ourselves. Mahakavi Kalidasa explains the same universality through his incomparable poetic beauty. In the opening Nandi verse of Abhignana Shakuntalam, he salutes Shiva through the visible forms of creation, Yasritti, Srishturadhya, etc. This invocation reminds us that the divine is present in water, fire, earth, air, space, the sun, the moon, and life itself. This is the genius of Indian aesthetics. Nature is not merely scenery, it is sacred. Beauty was not seen merely as contributing to visual pleasure, but it was the revelation of truth and benign, hence Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Kalas continue to inspire humanity because they reveal what never ages, the rhythms of love, compassion, separation, hope, and reunion. Human emotions remain timeless because human consciousness remains timeless. Indeed, this is why art transcends geography and history. Kshane kshane yannavata mupeti tadeva rupam ramaniyatayaha. That which assumes beauty every minute, that is art. A Bharatanatyam performer from Chennai touches the audience in New York. Similarly, a composition, a raga, conceived centuries ago, still moves the listeners. The medium may differ, the experience remains universal. Our sages understood this beautifully, and hence the Upanishadic proclaim, Raso Vaisaha, verily the supreme is Rasa. The highest reality itself is described as Rasa. When art enables us to experience wonder, compassion, heroism, serenity, devotion, or peace in their purest form, it gently lifts us beyond the mundane. That is why aesthetic experience has always occupied a sacred place in Indian thought and culture. Today, however, we stand at an extraordinary moment in history. Artificial intelligence is being used to create paintings and compose music. Digital platforms generate endless visual content. Yet, amidst this abundance, one question remains. Can technology generate rasa? It may imitate style, it may replicate form, but the living experience born of consciousness, discipline, intuition, and inner refinement belongs to the artist. The future of art will therefore not be determined merely by better technology. It will be determined by deeper humanity. Our responsibility is not merely to preserve traditions, but to keep them alive. Every generation must receive the flame of tradition, sampradaya, nurture it, and pass it forward with renewed vitality. In this process, the artist therefore becomes more than a performer. He or she becomes a custodian of civilization. This is why the arts remain humanity's greatest civilizational achievements. They remind us who we are and show us what we may become. They unite where politics divides. Let us resolve to keep the stream flowing, pure, vibrant, inclusive, and life-giving. May our artists continue to create with excellence and interpret with wisdom, and may our institutions continue to nurture future generations, and may this eternal stream of rasa continue to enrich humanity across time, cultures, and across the ages. I conclude with a timeless prayer from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Asato ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor ma Amritam Gamaya. May the art remain one of the noblest paths on this eternal journey. I wish this conference a grand success, and I place my namaskarams at the feet of Swamiji and thank him for his kind invitation to bring me here for this special occasion. Thank you and namaskarams to all.
Thank you, Nandini ji, for such a profound and insightful talk. I now invite Shri Anish P. Rajan to address the August gathering. Shri Anish currently serves as the Director of Academies and Performing Arts Bureau at the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. He has previously served as Director of Kalakshetra, Chennai and Secretary of the Sangeet Natak Academy, New Delhi. He has also represented India at UNESCO's Intergovernmental Committee on Intangible Cultural Heritage and was honored with the World Customs Organization's Excellence in Service Award in 2020. Shri Anish Rajan, please.
Param Pujaniya Sri Madhusudan Sai Swami, all gurus, Dr. Padma Subramaniam Padma Vibhushan. I always say this, Padma Vibhushan got Padma Subramaniam, not the other way around. Then most illustrious scholars of Bharatanatyam and music, not only known as the daughter of Dr. Raghavan, Nandini ma'am, Revati ji, she was our colleague. I've done a lot of speeches in my life, but for the first time I'm having a trembling feeling in front of Swamiji to speak. And Manjunathan from IGNCA, Murthy sir, my dear friends, respected seniors sitting in front of me. When Revati ji had asked me to speak few words here, I was actually wondering what is to speak, because I have a technical session. In the next session, I have a lengthy paper to present. All of a sudden, I was reminded of one particular Malayalam word while sitting in the hall, which I never had the opportunity to get its English equivalence. That word is called Gurutvam. I don't think the word Gurutvam has an English equivalence or equivalence in any other language. That Gurutvam is something is seen as the blessings of Guru, which will be eternal, and that will be the only eternal blessing that will take you to heights in your life, which is unparalleled, which is unassailable. Without that, whatever you have in your life, you will not flourish. This is exactly what one word, Gurutvam, in Malayalam means. I can see that profound Gurutvam imbibed in all of you here, which is not seen elsewhere in the world. I see that flow of blessings coming all the way from Swamiji here and to all of you, and a kind of discipline and divinity blended together. More than anything, I think that is going to take you to the success and the better future in your life. Coming to Kalasrota, again I was having a very bureaucratic way of addressing that I am very happy to be a part of this. Being from Government of India, I take this opportunity to thank all of you for inviting me here. Actually, I feel really humbled to address all of you from here. But more than that, I think, since I have a paper on the patronage of arts in the next session, I am particularly touched all of a sudden by the significance of the conference in a couple of ways. One, it is actually after 110 years of the first National Music Festival that we are having a constant, a fourth national seminar conducted by any entity continuously. The first National Music conference was conducted. Yesterday I had the opportunity to discuss it with Revati ji by none other than the great Bhatkande ji in Mumbai. And in 1916, when the colonial state was not at all interested to, the Britishers were not at all interested to promote the Indian art and culture the way it should have been, it was actually done by some individuals. And the first conference was done in 1916 with the help of the princely states. Each princely state, 11 princes have contributed 4,800 each to the conference. And the public subscription for the conference contributed around 1,300 rupees. I had actually explained this yesterday to Revati ji. Then the entire conference was done at an amount of 10,000 rupees. The point is, in the history of Indian art and music, the patronage of institutions other than the state was very significant. And if you look at the 1958 National Music Conference done by Sangeeta Academy, which is the national conference which is done after that, I'm yet to understand. I mean, last year, there was a national dance seminar conducted by, international dance seminar conducted by Sangeeta Academy after almost 50 years, but music festival has not been done. Or a festival which is having both the streams have not been done. So, this conference is most important and significant in the history of arts and culture in India in terms of, not only in terms of its sessions, also in terms of its documentation, its sessions, its topics, titles, and the way it is trying to communicate it to another universe, not the usual practitioners, but those who are going to take the torch forward, the new generation. So they are, I mean, Nandini ma'am was asking what will be the future of Rasa, whether it will be Raso Vai Saha or Raso AI Saha. But anyway, I don't think AI will be able to understand the Rasa because Rasa is anyway produced and imbibed and portrayed by the human being at the end of the day. That AI may not, I'm pretty sure that AI will not be able to win over. So I think this conference evokes a very profound civilizational truth, the entire title. Because Indian art is not merely a collection of aesthetic practices, it is a long stream of consciousness that has flowed uninterrupted through the millennia. We could actually protect the entire art and culture practices throughout, even though we had seen number of rulers, number of political systems, number of political expeditions in this country. So dynasties have risen and fallen, political systems have changed, yet the sacred current has remained unbroken. And you are at this stage of witnessing something frozen in time in a way. I don't know whether you would understand that part. The entire consciousness, the entire stream of consciousness is frozen in a way so that we could understand the fruits even right now. That is what the previous speaker had said. Some of the poems, some of the kritis of saints which have been written almost 200 years or 300 years ago evokes the same sort of emotion even right now, which means we are still enjoying the civilizational fruits, which is a unending stream of consciousness. I feel once again humbled, extremely fortunate to be here. Let me end with one of my favorite sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Idi te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya vimarshesha dashekshena yadechasi tatha kuru. I have shown you what is hidden, and not shown right now, but you have to understand the meaning with your reason, and you have to do using your reason. Actually, the entire process of these conferences, classes, sessions are to get all of you to that reason. That is what Guru has explained in a couple of his works, which he had gifted me when I met you in Delhi. So, to this reason, let us all awake. And one more thing, Bhishma says, Dharmasya tattvam nihidam guhayam mahajanayena gadaha sapanta. It is also a fact that most of the times the laws of righteousness is not written anywhere. At times, Mahajanayena Gadaha Sapanda, you will have to follow the path of the great souls to understand what is right, what is wrong, and what is actually righteousness. And exactly that is what fruit you are enjoying right now. I hope all of us will reach to that path. Thank you once again. I wish all the best to the National Music Conference here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anish ji, for your presence here today and for your kind words. We now request our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Padma Subramaniam ji, to deliver the inaugural address. Dr. Padma is a pioneering researcher who bridged the theory and practice of Indian dance through her path-breaking work on the Karanas of the Natya Shastra. A recipient of over 160 national and international honors, including the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, the Sangeet Natak Academy Award, and the prestigious Fukuoka Asian Culture Prize of Japan, Dr. Padma continues to inspire generations through her scholarship and artistry. She also serves on the advisory board of Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence. Dr. Padma Subramaniam, please.
Om Shri Sai. My pranams at the lotus feet of Sadhguru. Respected luminaries on the stage, dear friends, I am not new to you and you're not new to me. Sai Ram has blessed me to be coming here year after year, and that is the blessings of Sadhguru. Sadhguru radiates not only spirituality, he radiates what we call in Tamil both Iham and Param, something which is essential for life, worldly knowledge, and also knowledge for the other world. And as part of that great education, which this unique university has been sponsoring, music and dance have been included as part of the studies. And it is very significant that two small, beautiful buildings have been raised, the Veda Gurukulam, and right by the side of that, the Nada Gurukulam. What does that mean? It's an integrated course. It's a course where art meets science, where science meets philosophy, and when all these meet the spirit, spiritualism. It's a holistic approach to life. Unfortunately, in all the universities that we know of, everything is, well, bifurcated, everything is separated, nothing is looked as a holistic way of life, a holistic way to cognizance. Our ancients had looked at our whole life in the most cognizant manner. And this conference will give you how that cosmic consciousness has continued to flow in the lives of several thousands of people, and it will continue to flow. Our culture is not a stagnant, dirty pond. It is something like the Pravaha of Ganga, ever bringing new water, but from the same source. What is the source of all this knowledge? As Vishnu Sahasranamam says, everything comes from Janardana. There is a divine origin for everything. And this divine origin is made to be understood only through the divine blessings of Guru like him. You are all very, very, very fortunate. I wish I am just 18 years old. I can come back to this university and be a student under the spiritual and scientific umbrella of our Sadguru. Nowhere else, my dear friends, you can get this atmosphere. You are really blessed. Only if you go out to some other place, you will know the difference. This congregation, as Mr. Anish Rajan said, is really making history. There have been, in the last 100 years, many conferences. This is not the only conference. We have had conference in Chennai. Well, Music Academy had been concentrating on music. Krishnagan Sabha had been concentrated for the past 40 years. Conference on Natya. Well, the first convener was myself 40 years ago. And Natya Kala conference is going on. But what is lacking in, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but Anish Rajan is so correct when he says that no conference can equal this conference because it comes with a spiritual aura. It is not the mechanical analysis of how the body goes, how each limb is moved, how the eyeballs move up and down, side to side. But there is something more to all this. It is just not with practice that you can manage to sing any Sangati in 3 sthais in any raga. But what is that which is going to touch the hearts of people? So it has to have an emotion, and that emotion has to have a background in spirituality. So this is, you see the different layers that will be possible to understand only when you come to a place like this with a spiritual aura around you. The environment, the very way of entering this compound. I was telling Nandini ji, she has come here for the first time. I said, this is one place where when you enter, you leave behind one thing that is called ego. And once you leave that ego, you are at peace with yourself. You are absolutely in that state of Shanti, which only Sadguru can give you. And as already mentioned, artificial intelligence is one thing. Well, technology and its development is highly important, but we artists have to realize that more than the mission, the man's intelligence is very important. Even for the artificial intelligence, we must remember that it is a human being who is there behind the entire mission. Well, in the last 100 years or more, mission has progressed. The fact is, human has regressed. And the only way to manage to control this regression is by coming under spiritual gurus like Sadhguru, when human beings can realize that they can become divine. There is an evolution that is possible, and the entire potential of the human brain is not being understood. For a very simple example, take somebody like Shatavadani R. Ganesh, who lives very close to Muddenahalli, he is in Bangalore. How can one be an expert in 100 subjects? That is human brain. And still be very calm without ego. That is spirituality. So this is something where you come to an understanding of the potential of literature, arts, science, all that coming together. And you look at a piece of Nataraja, it is just not metallurgy, it is not just science, it is not how you make an alloy of all 5 metals, but the Rupa there has some other significance which needs to be understood. And this is what the present generation must understand. And only a conference like this can be a bridge between the cognizance of the eternal past and the eternal future. It is my honor to be coming here and inaugurate this most significant conference. And I'm sure it is going to be very enlightening to the youngsters here. Enlightenment is one thing, entertainment has to be enlightening also. So don't think entertainment is wrong. Entertainment is important, and in fact, Bharata says in the beginning of Natya Shastra that Natya Shastra was written to re-establish dharma which was declining in the beginning of Treta Yuga. Well, if he had said that it is diminishing in the beginning of Treta Yuga, you can imagine what it is when we are in Kali Yuga. So it is important that we look back at our history, which is also important. The history gives us the learning, it gives us the understanding of how to respect our past. We should always learn from the past, and that is what history gives you. And the history that we have in India has to be looked at from Indian point of view and not from the point of view of the aliens who distorted our history and our antiquity. With these words, I once again thank our very dear Revati Ramchandran. She is such a wonderful addition to this whole great temple of Saraswati. I always think that the loss of Kalakshetra in Chennai is the gain of Muddenahalli. I congratulate her for convening this great conference. I wish I could have been here for the whole conference. It would have been very big learning for me. But due to some prior commitments, I am compelled to leave this evening. my best wishes for the conference. And I have great honor, and I deem it a blessing to be asked to inaugurate this most significant conference. Thank you.
Padma ji, it is always a delight and a great blessing to have you with us at Sathya Sai Grama. Whether it is your eloquent talks or your performance, your wisdom, grace, and above all your bhakti are a great source of inspiration to all of us. Thank you, ma'am. We extend a token of our gratitude and appreciation to all the dignitaries on stage. First, to Dr. Padma Subramaniam ji. To Srimati Nandini Ramani ji. Shri Anish P. Rajan. To Shri Mahendra ji. We now pray to Sadhguru for his divine message on this beautiful morning. Thank you.
Whatever you decide. She's telling me to sit down. God is known as Bhakta Paradina. He is subservient to the devotees. If Padma ji says sit down, I sit down. That's about it. No argument. Coming together of all these great artists, musicians, dancers, performers, every year to celebrate this great parampara of Bharath through Bharat Sangeet Sammelan is something that as a university we are very privileged to do. And on this special occasion, having some of the finest artists and scholars with us is truly a blessing beyond description. Dr. Padma has been a part of this institute ever since we started this effort to promote art and music and dance. She is serving as the advisor to the university and always guiding us on our next steps. So she made it here despite her other commitments, and it's such a joy to see her. And whenever she comes, I'm always excited to meet her because she has something nice to tell me or teach me about. And her performance on Bhagavad Gita, the last time when she was doing like the solo one, now it has left an indelible impression in my mind. She brought out not just the Bhagavad Gita, but in a sequence that is so easy to understand, and performed it all by herself. And that was the shorter version. She said, it is a 3-hour-long program, but I shortened it for an hour or so. But you did that and it still remains in my mind. At that, of course, artist never ages, but physical body does age. But even at that age, with that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of beauty, that dignity, that finesse, it is divine, it can't be human. So Mother Saraswati, Lord Shiva takes over, that's why magic happens through her. So she is definitely a blessed instrument of the divine in continuing this tradition of Indian art, Indian dance, and telling the story of our scriptures. So a lot of gratitude and lot more blessings to her, so that she continues this for 100 years and continues to promote and propagate the Indian culture. Okay, 200 years. Nandini ji, though she is coming here for the first time, but I'm sure art knows no introductions. It is universal. So an artist is also a universal person, not needing an introduction, and no stranger to us at least. So I'm very happy that she could come here, and what a profound keynote address. What a profound one. Now I have to really go back and listen to it all over again, and I think all children should take a copy of it, and please go through it line by line, discussing it at your classroom. It is important to understand what she was trying to convey. It's wonderful. And as she said, at the end of it, whatever be the technology, it is the humanity, humanness in the art that makes it special. You can't invoke those emotions, the rasa, unless you are a part of it, you are totally engaged in it. Technology can only do so much. But a physical artist, right in front of you, in front of your eyes, when he sings or performs, something happens, a connection happens. That consciousness to consciousness connection happens. And that is why art is elevating. That is why art is healing. That is why art is consoling. What a wonderful idea from Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra she quoted. It was wonderful to hear that art never will lose its significance in this world. See, all other sciences, all other fields of knowledge will evolve, change, become different. But art is an eternal thing, and that is why we can never do away with art. It is the very basis of our existence, and that's why it's eternal today and eternal tomorrow. So that wonderful message that has come across through her keynote address is truly, truly appreciated. It should become a chapter, and children should read each of these messages very keenly and learn from that. So thank you, and lot of blessings to you, Nandini ma'am, for coming here. We are very, very, very grateful. Of course, Anish ji, I met him in Delhi, a very enthusiastic person in the Ministry of Culture, I would say. And I'm told that he's also a dancer, but I don't think he's having any time to dance anymore. But I would encourage him to find that little time, to not let go of that special blessing that God has given. Of course, government's blessings are there, but then God's blessings are greater. And art comes to only those who are blessed, not just anybody. So please do carry on with your tradition, your parampara. And thank you for engaging with us. Ministry of Culture has a huge responsibility, as I understand, because our India's soul is its culture. It's so rich, diverse, that to carry it forward is not easy. Now you go to one small country, they have one type of culture, one type of dance, one type of music. It's very easy to promote that. But India's diversity is so very vast that just one ministry cannot do justice to it. It is so much. You should have a ministry for dance, ministry for music, ministry for performing arts. It needs so many ministries to just do the justice to Indian art and culture. It is so vast and diverse. So I understand your difficulties and how cumbersome it is sometimes to carry forward or carry on with the responsibilities, but still don't lose touch with your soul, which is dance, and do keep dancing your way to your office and back. A lot of blessings to you for doing this. Very, very happy that we are able to do this. Of course, Mahendra ji from Indira Gandhi Center for Arts and National Center it is, and we also had an MOU with them at Delhi. Joshi ji was there, and Mahendra ji is always around us to help us with our programs in the university, and also has made kind arrangements for our children to visit them, learn from them, and engage in meaningful dialogue in terms of promotion and further propagation of various forms of arts. And I'm very glad that he could come and represent the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts for this conference, and I'm looking forward to many more such future engagements with them. Dr. Revati, I call her Dr. Revati Ramachandran because every time I tell her, she remembers, I have to finish my PhD, I have to finish my PhD. So it is like prepaid. No, it's almost done. It's under your care, so I know it will be done. So you're officially, whenever it happens, we'll celebrate it here. But truly, a scholar is not scholar because he or she has degrees. A degree is not the definition of a scholar. It's the scholarship of her experience of decades in the field of arts. That's what truly defines. Otherwise, degrees are now available dime a dozen. You can buy some of them online. You don't even have to visit a university, you will get a degree. And I know plenty of PhDs like this that happens around the world. But she is now, the director has said, definitely, one person's loss is another's gain, as they say. We definitely have gained much more in this bargain to have her here. And she organized this entire thing. She very deeply thought and conceptualized the entire program. Lot of blessings to you for bringing it all together. I know it is not easy to get these kind of scholars in a small place like this. Lot of blessings to her, and I believe her lesser half is also sitting here, Mr. Ramachandran. He tells me, I don't want to go anywhere, I had enough of programs. This Revati has, bored me all through the life, taking me from one program to another. So I generally restrict myself to my bed, bathroom and balcony, that's what he told me. But despite having that, he has broken that norm for us and came here to be a part of this. So welcome to Ramachandran also. Of course, this ashram is celebrating 50 years. 50 years ago, this all began as a small initiative by one devotee of Bhagwan Baba, by name Madhyal Narayan Bhatt. And Narsimurti was his very first direct disciple who was mentored by him, chiseled by him. He was just 20 years old then. And now, after 50 years, ever since Bhagwan named this place as Sathya Sai Grama, though it started as a school in 73, but it had no name, no identity. Later, when they approached Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, he named it as Sathya Sai Grama. So this year also happens to be the 50 years completion of Sathya Sai Grama. So we are celebrating, and I thought, what better way to celebrate than to bring all the artists together and celebrate art, because that is our culture, that is Bharata. Bhagavan used to say, Bharata means Bhava, Raga, Tala. Wherever there is Bhava, Raga, Tala, that is what is Bharata. If that is not there, Bharata is only a piece of a land on the map of the world. That's nothing more. But Bhava, Raga, Tala, Bhakti is Bharata. So that is what all of them have come to celebrate here. So I'm very, very happy that this is happening, and what an opportunity for the children who come from very rural, remote areas. The other day I was telling Dr. Revati, look, these children are not coming from traditional families of artists and musicians or people who know art or appreciate art. They are coming from ordinary farming families. They are children of sometimes very simple-hearted folks of India who do not have access to art. Unfortunately, over the last few decades, art became something for the privileged few, unfortunately. But we are trying to democratize art through our university. That let everybody have access to art, both in terms of learning and also appreciating by being able to observe it, being able to appreciate it, be a good audience. So that also is a part of the training of the university. Also, one more thing that I requested Revati to do is, please do not segregate, as Padmaji said, art has been broken into silos. In other colleges and university, children don't even learn together. The science people don't know anything about humanities. Humanities knows nothing about arts. Arts knows nothing about performance. No, everybody is living in a very, very segregated, broken system of education. But here everything is brought together. We made efforts to teach music and dance to everybody who has some talent and some interest. All children from the age 12 learn ragas. All bhajans that are sung here are in certain ragas. So they learn bhajans. They also learn the ragas in which bhajans are being sung. So to that extent, the art training begins quite early. And as they grow over a period, if they show some promise, they are definitely taken into diploma, certification and degree programs over here. So that is being done for all the people without any charges, so that everybody has access to music, dance and other kinds of performing arts. The other day we went to Nada Gurukulam, the foundation of Nada Gurukulam was laid by Padmaji only some time back. It's coming up slowly, gradually. One part is ready, there are 2 more parts to go. It will happen as time passes. With God's grace, it will happen. So I had gone there, I was mentioning to her that when creation began, it began with Nada. Before that, there was nothing that existed. The first creation was Akasha. Akasha was represented by sound, Shabda. Shabda is Nada basically. The highest expression of Shabda is possible only in music. Lower expressions are available. You can speak well, or you can debate, you can argue, a lot of ways of expressing sound. But the highest expression of sound is through music, ragas and a structured pattern of singing the raga through bhava, raga, tala. So that is the method. So on one side, Nada Gurukulam is giving you the opportunity to experience the beginning of the creation where Nada happened, and then to express it in the highest form as singing or expressing as music. On the other end, you have human evolution. So you had, Akashad, Vayo, Vayo, Agnihi, Agnirapaha, Adbhya, Prithvi, Prithivya, Oshadaya, Oshadibhyo, Annam, Annad, Purushaha. So this is the evolutionary pattern of creation. From Akasha it starts, ends at Purushaha, the human being. And what does the human being represent? Represents the highest evolutionary stage of the creation. There is nothing greater than human being right now, Homo sapiens. We are the epitome of the evolution pattern. What is the special thing about human beings? We have an erect spine. We can stand straight, others cannot. So what is the best and the highest expression of an erect spine? Not simply walking, running, jumping, dancing. Dance, Nritya is the greatest expression of the human evolution. So imagine you have Nada on one side, you learn music, and on the other side you have Nritya. You actually cover the entire gamut of human evolution from the beginning to the end. And in between I was just thinking, what about these other artists, sculptors and painters? Then I thought, the other thing that happened in human evolution, we have a thumb that opposes the fingers. Other animals don't have it. Because of that, we can grab things, we can do tools, we can hold and do things. Imagine sculpting, not possible without the thumb. Painting is not possible without the thumb. Anything that we have to do with our hands is not possible without the thumb. That is again an evolutionary thing that human beings alone are blessed with. So we are starting a department of fine arts which is going to be teaching people painting, including our traditional arts. You have Madhubani, you have Pichai, you have Tanjore, you have Mysore, you have so many other traditional art forms. So also you have Kalamkari to various other ways of printing and things like that. You have sculpting as a part of our traditions, which is shown in all temple architecture as you see. And that is the next thing that is coming up for the children. And they also can subscribe to that. But all this exists under one umbrella of Nada Gurukulam. It's not different departments, different. That is what I was telling Revati ji. A painter should also know a little bit of music. A musician should also know a little bit of dance. A dancer should also know a little bit of painting. A painter. So this way, everybody should appreciate the overall universality of art and not become great in their own field. That will happen. You will master your field, but you also should have a good understanding and respect for all other artists who exist under the same umbrella. So I have told Revati ji, let us break these silos and get all the children together once in a while at least to discuss each other's art forms and appreciate and develop respect for each other. That is something that I insisted, and the last thing I insisted is that every week our art is Advaitic art. What she said, not engagement, not entertainment, which is a part of it, but enlightenment. Jnanam, jnayam, tatha jnata, tritayam na asti vastavam. The knower, knowledge and the known are not separate. They become one. That is when true knowledge happens. Art is a way to achieve that. So I was mentioning that please have 1 hour of Upanishadic Vichara every week in the Nada Gurukulam. Let all sit, take one Upanishad Vakya. Raso Vaisaha is, let's say, a Vakya for today. Understand what does it mean. Raso Vaisaha. What is Rasa? Why God is called as Rasa? How is it present in everything, and how do we appreciate that rasa? So take that Vakya and let everybody give some input, let there be discussion. Each of these Upanishad Vakyas we should also deliberate upon. So these are the few ideas I have given to Nada Gurukulam to work on. I am sure under the great leadership of Revati ji, this will flourish. And the children are also very sincere. Shraddhavan labate jnana. All are very sincere children. If they get the mentorship and guidance and blessings of the gurus like this, the Gurutvam that we talk about, the Guru's blessings, you can achieve a lot. So I hope that as Bharata, which is the lighthouse for the whole world in these dark times, in these stormy times where people are fighting against people, there's so much of division and disunity in the society. Art is the only unifying force. It is the only thing that can cross borders, touch hearts, connect consciousness, and then make the whole world one family, which is my vision. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam can happen through art, and you have a great role to play as artists. So I bow down to all the great artists of this country and the world who have kept up this great parampara through their personal sacrifices, and here on the stage who are there, who are making those sacrifices even today, those who are sitting down as well as all those watching. To all of them a lot of blessings. Wish you very, very successful conference, and may this continue eternally. May this parampara continue eternally. With these prayers and blessings to all of you, I conclude.
Offering our deep gratitude to Sadhguru, we will conclude the inaugural session. We will have a short break, and after which there will be the technical session. Thank you.